constant. I've heard that a home is where the heart is. But when the kid roams the more homes than a rolling stone, it becomes hard to put your heart in anything that isn't constant. See, for me, a home was never a constant. Every 2 years, a different apartment, so till this day, I can only remember where I lived by the grade I was in. I packed my bags like I packed my lunches, constant. It wasn't until I found truth, hidden in the canal of my wisdom tooth, that I learned. Being pulled from your environment is much easier when you haven't taken a root, so after the 5th grade, I no longer made friends. Like a turtle, I found shelter and protection in the shell of my skin, because you become vulnerable to your surroundings when you're not grounded within. I found comfort in the uncomfortable silence of men. Unable to read my thoughts, they thought me heartless. But those who thought that were those who weren't constant. I'm like an EKG. You'd have to be attached to me long enough to get a clear read, or you might misinterpret my waves, my dips, my spikes. Mood swings can last for days. Growing up fights were constant. Because no matter how many times things change, how to throw a punch always remained the same, and I just wanted something to be constant. Relationships were never constant. Someone asked, is it better to have loved than lost, or not to have loved at all? It's only a reflex when I respond. Everyone I've loved, I've lost. Wow. See, my grandmothers are gone. Girlfriends have moved on. But if I didn't love it all, I would have missed the love we shared, and it's not that I'm scared, but when you constantly love and lose, you become just a little apprehensive when love appears. See, it's not just romantically, but it's also with the platonic love of peers. So what you might interpret as standoffish or distant is just a guy dealing with his fears. Now, it's not so much the fear of rejection as it is the pain and the disconnection. See, I see through a glass darkly, so when companionship is presented, I see abandonment as its reflection. The longer I live, the more I'm learning life lessons. It took 31 years to understand that love isn't an offering of affections, but it's the sacrifice to commit in spite of imperfections. It's the promise to be constant. And in a world that's constantly changing, all I want is for love to love me constant. Taught the importance of being constant. Through the inconsistencies of men, I learned that the power of words isn't in their delivery, but it's in the actions that follow them. So I follow him. Him whose word became flesh, the express image of him who died is now alive, whose spirit now resides within him, who's been constant, him who is constant. They ask me why I constantly speak of him. It's because he will forever be constant, forever be faithful, impartial, and immutable. And the fact that he's been constant in my life is irrefutable. He told me the pen is my sword, and I would need it to face my fears, that I am a weeping prophet. The words written on my tears, that there was a method to the madness. I was being processed and prepared. All things are working together for my good, despite how they may appear. My transitions prevented me from being defined by the opinions of circles, or confining myself to the potential of squares. They also kept me out of Bermuda triangles where relationships disappear. He emphasized the importance of being constantly uprooted because of the fruit I had to bear, given the breath of life, to speak life into the air. See, I'm a thermostat, not a thermometer. I was created to change the atmosphere. I've heard that home. That's where the heart is. But when the kid roams the more homes than a rolling stone, it becomes hard to put your heart in anything that isn't constant. For me, a home was never a constant. Every 2 years, a different apartment, so I wrote this correspondence, not just as a reflection of the conscience, but as proof of address to the home my heart found in God, who is my only constant.